Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-888-88-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the Boater, and our buddy Joe from Motor City Boat Works rounding out the crew today as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information and basically just check in with Joe. I think that's what this entire show is going to be, this virtual cruise through the boating world, because it's been a few months, or a couple months, because he's been traversing the world in various floating vessels, and I think it's time for a nice little catch-up. Joe, welcome to the World of Boating. How you doing, buddy?
Very good. How you guys doing? It's great to be back here. It's summertime, and every summer, I'm traveling with my wife. We're away from the boat works, and we usually go someplace, and this summer was no different. We went to Norway and did a self-drive boat trip in what's called the Telemark region of Norway. It's kind of the southeast part of Norway. And part of the trip was along the southern coast of Norway, and part of the trip was along up into a fjord, and then along what's called the Telemark Canal. It's this man-made lock system that goes up into the interior of Norway.
Right.
And we were on the boat, the boat, driving it ourselves for 16 days. And the best part was this boat was a 100% electric trawler, 33 feet long, no engines of any sort, no combustion engines or anything, 100% electric propulsion technology.
That is impressive.
It's amazing.
Yeah, now we have that in common. Both you and I have been through the fjords of Norway. I did it a few years ago on a cruise, so I'm officially a boater of the fjords and partial Viking. Once you do that, you get to claim Viking status, Barry. Sorry.
I think the difference is that Joe was the captain. He was the master and commander of this boat.
No, that's a difference, but
you were a paid passenger who was served your French vanilla latte every morning,
right?
And didn't get anywhere near the bridge of your boat.
I don't know about you, Joe, but it sounds like Barry's jelly. Okay, so
no, I would like to go to Norway one day. Yeah. That's one of the places.
This is a bucket list trip. Yeah. I went to Norway in 1995. I was a young Marine Corps officer, and I did an amphibious landing. It was a NATO operation in a place called Stavanger, Norway, and I always swore that I would come back to Norway one day and drive, captain my own boat up the fjords into Norway. I just thought it was just the most amazing thing I had ever seen. And it's taken 30 years to get the opportunity to come back to do that. And that's what we did.
When you got there, did you storm the beach again like you did 30 years ago? Or did you look at it and say, what, am I crazy?
We rolled off the plane in Oslo with our roller suitcases. Took the 2-hour train to a little tiny town called Porsgrunn, Norway, and there is a company there called Canal Boats Telemark. This region of Norway is called the Telemark region, and this is the first company in the world that has a fleet of all electric trawlers, 33 to 39 feet long, and they allow you to rent the boats, and you can go on the coast, or you can go up the Telemark Canal into the interior, up the fjord, and you drive it yourself. They have some specific requirements. I'm going to have a series of videos coming out on my YouTube channel where I talk about the amazing electric boat, the trip along the southern coast, and the trip up into the fjord, the Telemark Canal, and kind of show you exactly what it's like, how you can do it, and what this electric propulsion technology was like, because I was kind of a skeptic, but I got to tell you, it's the future, man. It was amazing.
So your
soul must have been quiet.
Yeah. Oh, very, I would imagine.
You're traveling along. It must have been amazingly quiet.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. And there are a lot of misconceptions. Was it quieter than a diesel or a gasoline engine? Absolutely. Was it that quiet? Was it silent? No,
No,
it was
I don't
not,
think so.
because the propulsion system, creates turbulence in the water, and there are waves, and there's wind, and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of noise from the boat moving through the water. So we went on I took the boat on the North Sea purely to test out the electric drive system. I can tell you all about that. And
Okay.
so it's not silent, but it's about 70 decibels inside the cabin in the pilot house. So it's quieter than a diesel engine or a gasoline engine, but it is not silent running unless you're only doing 1 or 2, 3 knots at a time in a very kind of peaceful environment. When you do that, though, I'll tell you, it's like you're moving through the landscape like silent running. It's very, very cool, and you're really kind of moving through the landscape, but part of the nature. It's very interesting.
It
Well-
doesn't scare off the critters, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and the scenery, the fjords of Norway, mind
you know what?
blowing. Just for the record, like when it comes to cruise itineraries, the number one cruise itinerary is Alaska, shortly followed by the fjords of Norway.
I'm going to tell you, I've been to Alaska, and there is nothing that compares to being a very tiny boat with very, very big mountains around you and working your way up, a fjord.
All those
Alaska's
waterfalls.
Great, but
I mean, it's mind blowing. It really. The only difference is, I forget. There's not glaciers in the fjords of Norway, is there, or is there?
There, further north on the west side and further north in Norway, there are. But on the southern side here, especially during the summertime, no.
Right. So it's a little different vibe, but it's very Lord of the Rings kind of scenery.
Yeah, very raw.
Yes,
very,
really.
primeval, kind of environment. Yes.
But yeah, magnificent views and a way to connect with nature. I mean, and being that you and I are fellow Vikings now. I mean, did it live up to all your expectations and then exceed them? Is that kind of what you're saying too?
It absolutely did. I would tell people that if you are, this is not a beginner boat trip. This is a boat trip for someone who's a little more advanced, maybe like an intermediate boater, someone who has a boat, has done some coastal navigation, is familiar with that. Someone who understands weather planning and kind of passage making, where you're overnighting multiple days and you have some experience moving from, island hopping or point, A to Z type of thing. You need to have some serious boating skills to undertake something like this, especially on the Norwegian coast, because the weather's always changing and you've got the North Sea and a variety of things. And then the lock system, is no joke. It's so it's not a total beginner newbie trip, a little more advanced, but I would say, it's certainly doable. Anybody could do it, and you rent the boat from the company and you're on your way.
Do they just
like it
hand
was
over
yours.
the keys and say, here you go? Or do they give you a little?
They give you a little
rundown?
bit of instruction on the systems, because if you're like me, I didn't know anything about electric technology on boats. I had an electric scooter, I got an e-bike, and I've driven electric cars. But on a boat, I was very skeptical about how does this work? What does it exactly do? Trying to understand the specs and all this stuff. So they give you a little bit of that information and show you how everything works, and off you go. And I'll tell you an interesting story. We started getting ready to leave the dock. I untied everything, put all the lines away. The wife is running the bow and stern thruster. I'm going to jump on the boat, hit the throttle, we'll take off. I jump on the boat, we're totally disconnected. I hit the throttle and nothing happens. And it was like, well, what's going on here? And it turns out that there was a button you have to press to turn on the propulsion system.
You got to put your foot on the brake before you can start the electric car. You didn't know that.
I didn't know that. It was hidden behind the key fob thing.
Yes.
And so once we hit that, we almost drifted out into the waterway there, but we hit that, boom, then we're off. And what the trip proved over the 16 days that we were on the boat overnighting is that the technology works. It's amazing.
There you go. Hey, look, we got a lot to cover with Joe from Motor City Boat Works. Tell us what he did on his summer vacation next on The World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traditional boat hooks are bulky, take up too much space, and sink. Switch to the Revolve Tech USA 3-in-1 boating tool. A marine-tough, compact system replacing your boat hook, stiff brush, and soft brush. The Revolve Tech USA 3-in-1 tool extends to 6 feet, then rolls up to just over 4 inches and floats. Upgrade to the Revolve Tech USA 3-in-1 tool for more utility, less gear, and zero compromises. Get 10% off with coupon code WORLD10 at smartboattool.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I'm really excited to check out these beautiful waters with you in a really cool way.
All right.
See that boat over there?
Yeah.
I think we're going to sail on it today.
Oh, my God, yes.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me. Joe from Motor City Boatworks with us, talking about what he did on his summer vacation in Norway on an electric trawler, of all things. And being that I've been to Norway, he's been in Norway. We're fellow Vikings now, officially. And
yeah, right.
Barry's a little jealous and just staying at home watching runs of
I'm
Bachelor in Paradise and that new one. I lost my virginity to you or something.
What?
Yeah,
Seriously?
You know you're what? You know you're.
No, I
watching
don't watch any of those things.
About watching
you have
your
a
first
boring
time.
life.
And hey, I'm
You're
going to
younger than
Norway.
me.
I'm like, I'm cool.
You
went
to Norway as a passenger, like everyone else. No, Joe did it the right way.
Yeah. Well, he did it better than I. I will grant him
Absolutely.
that for sure.
Yeah.
But you haven't done squat, my friend.
No,
So-
I haven't.
So you just
That's
stay up
okay.
with what's happening, how you lost your virginity on TV, and we'll keep that. Well, actually, I don't want to hear any more about it. You just cover it accordingly, and stay up to date on those reality TV shows there, Barry. But Joe,
Yeah.
so look, you did this trawler adventure
Yes.
through the fjords in Norway. I mean, just going there by itself is an amazing trip. I can vouch for it. Like I said, I did the cruise thing a few years ago. It was very, very impressive part of the world for sure to just see. But to do it from a small boat like that, let alone an electric trawler.
33-foot
Yeah.
electric trawler. The boat is called a Green Line 33.
Yeah. So did they tell you, give you directions on, obviously, here's a quick run through how the systems work, but they said, okay, you got to get to plug 1, plug 2, plug 3, or was it?
No, they don't tell you. There's no limitation. You can cruise anywhere, basically within the Telemark region, and there are no limitations pretty much placed on you You know, you can go wherever you want as long as you can get a charge to recharge the electric propulsion.
Well, that's
system.
what I'm saying. Are they saying here's this charging station, or was solar, filling the battery banks enough, or you had to
So this boat, if you look at the picture of this boat, it's kind of a sexy looking boat. They call it a they call it a super displacement cruiser, which means that it's a displacement hull pushes through the water, right? And it's got a big flat kind of hard top on it for the pilot house and salon area. It's about 1,400 watts of solar power capacity, but that is only for the house battery system and the 230 inverter to run electrical items and stuff like that. The propulsion system has to be charged separately, and that's done by essentially overnighting in a marina or overnighting at a location
with shore
that
power.
has shore power.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, if you got out there on the water and you couldn't get to a charging station, at least you'd be able to watch TV and stuff.
You can anchor out. You can stay out as long as you want, as long as you have enough power to get yourself back to somewhere where you can plug in to go on your way the next day.
But if you run out of juice, at least you got the solar power to power the TV, so you can stay
be
up.
living large in your boat that can't go anywhere.
Barry would be happy because he could watch Bachelor in Paradise and not miss a single episode.
Barry, go ahead.
He got away. What do you think there, Barry?
No. I've just been having this issue.
Well, we know. We know.
Yeah. The question is, okay, so this is only good in the summer, though, because from what I understand, in the wintertime, there's almost no sun there in Norway, or very little sun.
Yeah, so it's definitely during the summertime, like when we were there, we were there in June and July, and it's about 20 hours of daylight. And the 4 hours of nighttime is not really dark. It's more like twilight,
Duskish.
a little bit like duskish.
Yeah.
So it's basically light all the time. And this was a little bit of a challenge because it definitely interrupted our sleep, definitely with the jet lag, kind of getting used to this and trying to, sleep comfortably to be prepared for the next day. It took some time to get used to, but after about a week, we were used to it. And of course, you are correct. There is a boating season in Norway because the rest of the time it's cold and there's snow, and so even in the south where this is at, so the season I think runs from I want to say like April to October and November.
Right.
Sometimes they run the boats a little bit later, but there's a definite cutoff point where things are winterized.
And you probably saw some of those fellow boaters on the cruise ships like me a few years ago, right? You cruised right past
in
them.
this particular area, there are no cruise ships in this area. That's more of a west coast of Norway and a little bit north type of area where they operate. This is a huge boating mecca for Norwegians and Swedes and
more like a
other
native.
Scandinavian countries. This is just like, I took that trip to the Netherlands, and all of Europe is coming to Friesland, Netherlands to, do boating stuff there. Well, all the Scandinavian countries and kind of the Baltic countries, they're coming. This is one of the places that they come to, the Telemark region.
Yeah. And they're known for their cheese and wooden shoes. Am I right, or am I mixing
No,
up?
that's Netherlands. That would be the Dutch.
What are they known for?
As I said, passenger.
They're known for Vikings.
Vikings, that's
the North
right.
Sea,
Yeah, like the hats.
and all cool things maritime.
There we
Yep.
go.
And
That's
oil drilling, and
A lot of natural resources. Yeah, you bet.
Didn't you go to the Norway? There was a Norway ride in Epcot.
yes,
I
of
never
course.
went on that ride. That's as close as I've gotten to Norway so far.
Wow, gosh, you really do suck.
Well, you
Yeah,
got to
yes,
try
I
this,
do.
Barry.
Yes, obviously there are a lot of things I'd like to do.
Yeah. Well,
But what kind of battery system do they use?
Yeah.
Right,
How
so
long of a
this-
charge could you get from port to port?
So the battery system in this boat for the propulsion side is two 40 kilowatt BMW batteries. This is monster type of electric car
battery.
type batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's two of them. So you got 80 kilowatts of battery power that drives the propulsion system. The propulsion system is a Torqeedo deep blue. It's called a deep blue. I think it's like 50 kilowatt electric drive system that is about the equivalent of, say, a 70 horsepower diesel engine.
And we've talked about Torqeedo before on the Scuba Show, haven't we, Greg?
I have no idea.
Don't they make the smaller
Yes, they
things
do.
that you would
Yes, they
would
do.
drag
Well, they
you
all
along in the water?
And
They
underwater
do. They make-
scooters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make e-propulsion sail drives for sailboats, and they actually make commercial electric drive systems. And this is like an intermediate, recreational, quasi-commercial, inline, with an inline shaft
Right.
propulsion system.
Oh, how
Yes.
far from charge to charge would they say you should be able to get this?
So the range of
miles.
this system at 5.5 knots is about 100 kilometers.
Okay, well that's a pretty
So
good
it's
haul.
it's pretty good. And on our trip, we did over 16 days. I talk about all this on these videos that I have coming out in September. I'll go over the electric propulsion system, the trip on the southern coast, and the trip up into the interior of Norway on through the fjord and the Telemark Canal. And I cover all this in detail. But basically, we were on the boat for 16 days. We traveled about 385 kilometers, and our longest run was like 70 kilometers one day.
All right, well there you go. And if you want to look it up on YouTube, Motor City Boatworks, WERKS is the search to do on YouTube, or just go to MotorCityBoatworks.com. More coming up.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I used to have a boat.
You did?
Yeah, she was pretty damn sweet, man. I love that boat.
So why'd you lose it?
Sometimes the things we love aren't long for this world, Vern. Especially when your alcoholic ex-wife gets drunk and falls overboard and drowns.
This is the World of Boating. Gregor First Mate, that's me, along with Barry the Boater, and Joe from Motor City Boatworks. By the way, it's MotorCityBoatworks.com. Work spelled WERKS. I believe that's the official Viking spelling. But a lot of times we don't want to confuse our passengers there, Joe. So, I mean, I know you're just trying to make it work, but we want to make sure people know it was a deliberate spelling.
It is.
Yeah. So there you go. Now you know. All right. So you took this 33-foot electric trawler through the fjords of Norway, and
Yes.
you've been raving about it for the whole show so far. I mean, is this something you think you're going to possibly experiment more with in the future here stateside, or what do you think?
Well, there's a couple of things that make this work for Norway for this type of trip. One of them is they have, on the southern coast and up into the interior, there are relatively short runs between the coastal towns and the port harbors. So it's very possible to travel, from one to the other, hook up, charge overnight, and be on your way the next day. Now, they also have in Norway, in this region, 7 fast chargers. These are special monster charging stations designed to charge these boats specifically. Right. This is the first electric fleet, first fleet of electric boats in the world. This is the first company to be doing this with an all-electric fleet. No gas or diesel propulsion boats at all.
Yeah.
So they've really proven the technology. It's a good proving ground to kind of show how everything works. In Norway, electric propulsion is very popular. It's supported by the government. Right now, 50% of the cars in Norway on the roads are all electric, and 90% of the cars being sold are all electric. And by 2029, 100% of the vehicles on the road in Norway will all be electrical. So they are at the kind of the tip of the spear of, electrical propulsion and this kind of.
Are they kind of phasing out all gas and diesel, or for that particular area of Norway?
It's part of the government's strategic initiatives.
Right,
yes.
but did you see? Did you see some fellow gas baggers or
sure, you still
potters?
of course, you still see boats. You'll see with outboards and all this kind of stuff. And these boats. There's almost a dozen of them from this company, right? So they are. Even the Norwegians in the area know about this company, and they know about these electric boats. Everywhere we went, it was a real head turner. People came over. They wanted to see the boat. They were asking questions. Does it really work? How does it work? What's it like? And even the Norwegians are fascinated with the technology.
Yeah.
But many people expressed interest in, man, I would get something like this if I knew it worked, if it was available, if it's mainstream. And it's still the early days, right?
Sure.
It's not like electric cars yet. It's very new technology, and it's very cutting edge, and the technology is expensive.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
not
what
cheap.
was going to be my next question. What about cost? I mean, have you already done that? Analyzing if
it's
you would have
not
done this.
It's not. For me, I'm building my trawler inside the boatworks, right? And it's a 27-foot boat. It's economically not feasible. These boats, these Green Line 33 boats, when they were sold new, the one we were on was a 2020 model.
Okay.
This is an 800,000 euro,
Right.
million euro boat, right? And the technology is very, very sophisticated, and it's Torqeedo, it's BMW, it is
High end.
It's top of the line, and in fact, these boats are luxury cruising boats. They are made by a Slovakian company, and there's really something.
So did you
want to see the videos?
Well, yeah. I look forward to watching those, and I know that was the main purpose of doing this. Well, probably the first element was just have fun
the real
for summer
reason
vacation.
was because this is my bucket list. I wanted to go back to Norway because I did. I was in the Marines and I went to Norway, and I said I'm coming back.
Yeah.
And it was something I wanted to do in my life, and that was the primary reason.
But what was the point where you decided, hey, I'm going to do these new electric boats instead of doing
because I was looking for a place where I could use boats in Europe, and in most places, in fact, all places in Europe, you pretty much have to have a certification or an ICC type license or something like that to be able to rent a boat. But these boats don't require that. And you have to be a certain age, you have to have a certain amount of experience, but they don't require that. And and plus it was Norway, and that's why we went and did it.
Well, they
The
don't
fact that it
require
was
that because as an incentive to get more people to do it, or is that just because they're?
It is. It has to do with the speed of the boat, because the boat really goes between 5.5 and 10 knots tops, and so it doesn't go certain fast. And they have particular rules in Norway. Their laws allow for this type of boating.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you were to compare what you did, like if you were to rented, a trawler, a comparable size, maybe not as fancy.
Yes.
Do you think it was, more expensive to rent this electric boat than it would have been if you were able to get your hands on, more traditional diesel-powered something?
Well, I
trawler?
did
What do you think?
2 summers ago, we did the trip in the Netherlands for, I want to say 14 days, 17 days, whatever that was.
Right.
And it's yes, the diesel boats are definitely cheaper. There's no question about it. This technology is extraordinarily expensive, but this trip is a different type of trip than the one in the Netherlands. This Norway is very raw. Going up in the fjords is a real adventure. There's not a lot of stuff out there. And cruising along the coast with the variety and the challenges of operating in a coastal environment and on the North Sea is where else can you do this sort of thing? It is so the comparison of the cost is not relevant.
Yeah.
This is an adventure on another level.
Gotcha.
So what did you do up there? I mean, you went on this boat, you went up these different rivers or fjords, and I mean, did you go out hiking? Did you
put on his Viking helmet and
go
yelled?
Ricola, or something like that? Or
listen, I'm not hiking anywhere, but I will pull into a port and have a beer, and
okay.
There's all sorts of things to see. There was the Coastal Museum in Langesund.
There you go.
Behind me, you can see the lighthouse and stuff. We had quite a few adventures doing different things, on this. But the trip itself, the journey is the adventure. Living on the boat day in, day out, cooking meals on the boat day in, day out, going on the North Sea, going on the coast, the variety of going.
Well, what's so funny,
fjord.
Barry? What are you laughing?
I can't see you ever doing this, Greg.
What do you
cooking
mean?
for yourself? Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's what
No
what
way.
the
I'll
winch
tell
is
you,
for.
the only downside is the reason we cooked on the boat and had drinks on the boat is because in Norway, you'll be shocked to hear this, but a beer will cost you $8 to $12.
What?
Yes,
It's expensive there, huh?
it is expensive eating out, and entertainment like this is expensive. So it makes sense to do it on the boat and kind of control that cost or whatever. But also, once you get up into the fjord, you're out there, man. You are out there, and that trip was about going 100 kilometers into the interior of Norway, up the Telemark Canal. The Telemark Canal was built in like the late 1800s. Is considered the eighth wonder of the world, right? At the time that it was built.
Well, I have this picture of Joe on his boat in a Viking helmet, yelling for his pet, dragon, and that's what you do when you're in Norway. Or maybe that was just me. I don't know. Sometimes the inside voice comes out. Sorry about that. More coming in. There's some more coming out, actually. Next.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Come on, Williams, what are you standing around for here? Get on board.
Get on board. Don't fret. Don't try to worry.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the boater. And we got Joe from Motor City Boat Works with us today. Motor City Boat Works, spelled WERKS.com, by the way, is the website to go to, or look him up on YouTube and find out all about his adventures of cruising on an electric trawler through the fjords of Norway. That's how you're supposed to say it, Barry, just so you know. If you want to sound like you're in the know as a fellow Viking, I know you're not, like me and Joe, but it's Norway.
The difference is that I have boating experience, and you can't go to them and say, well, I've been on a lot of cruise ships. Can I rent this boat? They'll look at you and say, you silly American, get out of here.
Wrong!
Yes, absolutely right.
No, I know Joe, and he'll vouch for me because he's a fellow Viking now. And, right, Joe?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, see? Say, okay, your money. It checks in the mail there, my friend.
My this thing is failing left and right. I won't be able to make the other show at this point.
Well, yeah, he's having some connection
it
issues.
Says it's unstable.
No,
I don't
you
know why.
are unstable, Barry.
Stable. No,
Yeah.
I'm quite stable.
I don't know.
And you
about that.
notice my face is healing up nicely.
Yes, he had some. Yeah, you look all rosy now. Actually, like
well,
you burned off a
it's
bunch of
not as-
skin.
It's been burned off. Yeah, it's growing back. It doesn't hurt anymore, at least.
Well, speaking of that,
Yeah.
hopefully you didn't lose any skin in Norway. But how was the weather overall for your trek through the waters of Norway? There,
It was
Joe?
pleasant. It was pleasant and great. During the day, it was about 70 degrees.
Yeah.
And then at night, it got down to about 60.
Right.
And so,
But
we
Barry
had a little bit
can-
of rain, a little bit of overcast.
All right, but it
days.
wasn't like these stormy seas that Barry remembers from the ride at Epcot. At the Norway Pavilion.
It was actually really great weather while we were there.
Okay.
Well, that's the
part
North
of the
Sea.
ride.
The North Sea is supposed to be like that.
Okay.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. I have been on the North Sea when it's at its worst. Yes,
Right.
it definitely gets that.
Right. But you don't experience that where you were. It was nice.
No,
calm
we did not have that problem. I
sailing.
took the electric boat. I took the electric trawler on the North Sea. We attempted to move further down the coast to go to a tiny little town, and in doing that we had to go outside about a mile or two offshore.
Yeah.
And it was that particular day the wind was coming head on, and it was a bit of a challenge. We ended up coming back not because of the boat or the electric drive system, but because it's my vacation, and I didn't really feel like slogging the weather trying to get somewhere only to turn around and come back the next day.
Sure.
When it was going to be raining and stuff like that.
It
But
is
it was a great test of the system.
Yeah.
To show what it was like.
But you're on
And,
vacation. You want to enjoy yourself. You don't want to
Of
be
course.
fighting
Right.
the weather
right.
and that kind of thing. How would you compare the fellow boaters that you met in that part of the world compared with everyone else? Everyone the same? Or did you notice any kind of difference?
Listen, in general,
Mm-hmm.
Norwegians are very salty boaters.
Yes.
Salty
They're very
in like the words they use? Or what do you mean?
Salty as in like educated and good seamen, and their boating is an integral part of the culture and society, especially on the coast there.
Yeah.
And so, their experience operating in coastal conditions, a variety of weather and navigating stuff like that is probably, way above most of the United States, because we have such a large part of the United States that's not, in a coastal
Right.
environment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
well, did they have that
and,
kind of look at you like, oh God, here comes the American? We
no,
gotta...
no. They were very generous and friendly with their time. I have another video where I spent some time with a Norwegian sailor and his unusual sailboat. That'll be an episode coming out, and they were fascinated by the boats, as much as we were. They had heard about them, seen them, but you always want to hear from another boater. Hey, man, does this thing really work?
Sure.
Like, what's it really like? And you want to ask all your kind of questions and your gotcha kind of thought process, right?
Right.
And I went into this very, very skeptical. And by the end of the trip, 100%, I'm a believer. This is the future. And I hope it comes sooner rather than later so we get to enjoy it. It's really exciting.
All right.
And I would encourage anybody to do this trip. It's well worth the expense, and it's well worth the effort. It was a lot of work, but once in a lifetime trip, man, let me tell you.
Well, it sounds like, though, the electric portion of the vessel would ultimately make things easier on you, wouldn't it? Because you have less moving parts and things you have to screw with. You just pay attention to the computer and the charging, and you're good to go, right?
This is an interesting point. Yes, I think so, Greg, because I can't tell you how many times over the years I have been stranded by a gasoline or a diesel engine or an outboard that wouldn't start, didn't work, wasn't reliable, was finicky, got rained on, didn't quite work, and this electric engine propulsion system worked, and the instrumentation and all the kind of whole thing worked like your iPhone. Like it was it was just like butter. I love it. And you start to realize, wow, this could change the dynamics of boating and the pleasure you get from boating, having this type of technology working for you rather than maybe working against you some days. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I know I've seen it a lot, in the aviation world where, it's kind of working that same track as well. But, the electric motors, everything's solid state, less things you got to flex
Yeah.
with on that, and just focus on being a boater, like cruising on the water and paying attention to the waterman rules and that kind of thing, right?
Yes, once I had confidence in the system and the instruments that they were giving me good feedback on the range of the batteries and their performance and what I could and couldn't do and how I should be planning things. Once I had that confidence after, about a week's worth of being a skeptic, then on the second half of the trip, when we went up into the interior and we, attempted to go 100 kilometers to the terminus of the Telemark Canal, I knew that the boat would probably get me there. Well, I wasn't sure that we could necessarily do it. We had to pass through about 32 different lock chambers, 36 different lock chambers, raising and lowering an elevation of 72 meters over the course of the trip. And, we were out there in some fairly remote places, as you'll see from the video, that there's nothing around but giant mountains. And you're a little tiny boat just kind of working your way through 300 meters of water.
Right.
Depth, trying to get to the end of this, canal fjord.
Yeah. What about whales? Anything like that? Any wildlife
Didn't
stuff?
see any whales,
No?
and I didn't see any porpoises or anything like that. Birds,
Dragons?
and
No?
No dragons. No, nothing like that.
Okay. Just the whole vibe just had that look. It was just more scenery. You're soaking it all in. Well, it sounds fascinating. And of course, once again, if you want to see all the in-depth videos, go check out Joe at Motor City Boat Works on YouTube. And you plan to get those out starting
probably in the month of September. They'll
Yeah.
be out in the month of September, and over a series of weeks, the 3 or 4 episodes will come out and kind of chronicle the trip. We'll talk about the electric boat first, so people can understand the technology and kind of answer all their questions. Because I know you're hearing this like I was. You're like, wait a minute. Well, what does this mean? How does this work? And what does this thing look like? And frankly,
did he really
so much,
have a Viking helmet? Of course he
so
did.
much of the information on YouTube so far regarding electric propulsion and sailboats and other stuff is really, I use the expression nonsense or lacking. It's not. It's not
lacking.
real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once again, you can go
I
in
went to
more in
I
depth.
attempted to show what does this really look like.
Yeah. Well, I'm intrigued. I think, what you did on your summer vacation is right up there with mine in the Maldives, which we discussed last week on the show. Barry's yet to do squat. So maybe next week between now and then he'll do something to talk about for next week. On that note, we're going to wrap it up till next time. Remember, whether it is sail or motor,
Life is better as a boater.
safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab!
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.